Hello, my name is Miriam and I love everything about books. On my channel I tell you about the books I read, about the challenges I do, and in 2021 I did a challenge to read 365 books. That's why my channel name is Miriam Reads 365 Books. I actually met my goal and read 365 books in 2021. I will tell you more about that in future videos. In today's videos I will tell you everything about my reading goals for 2022. Will I read 365 books again this year? Well, the answer is no. I want to focus a bit more on my writing career and I'm actually going to study to become a book editor. I will still do a lot of reading and a lot of writing, but my main focus are those things and not my reading goal. However, I have made a bookish bingo and I'm going to tell you all about my reading goals for this year. The first goal is how many books I will read. It says 120 books. I set the bar low for myself. Not only did I read a lot of books in 2021, I read 250 books in 2020, I read 200 books in 2019 and 175 in 2018, so 120 is quite a low goal. But like I said, I want to focus on my writing career and on my study to become a book editor and maybe start my own business. So that's what my main focus will be for this year, but I still like to read a lot, so 120 books is pretty doable for me. I also want to discover 24 new authors, so I want to read books by authors I have not read a book from. I set this goal with a different number for myself every year, so I like to discover new authors but also read books by authors I've already read books from. The third goal in a row is read 80 new books, not newly published books but books I have not read before. And the next goal is actually going to be quite difficult, but I want to buy a maximum of 25 new books. And maybe this still sounds like a lot, but the previous years I've bought over 50 new books. I've noticed that I buy quite a lot of books and then end up not liking them and they are on my shelf and I don't know what to do with them. So from now on I only want to buy books that I'm like 80 or 90% sure I will like them, because I've read other books by the same author or because it has a lot of great reviews. And I know reviews don't say everything, but they actually mean quite a lot to me. And if I still end up not liking a book, then I have to get rid of it very soon and not let it sit on my shelves for a number of years. Another goal is actually something I can't really, well, I need other people to accomplish this goal, and that's 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. In the last 2 months of 2021 my channel grew quite a bit and I did not expect that. But this year I'd like to get 1,000 subscribers. I hope that's possible. If you're not a subscriber yet and you really want to help me with this and you're really interested in bookish content, then please consider subscribing to my channel, so that will help towards reaching this goal. So now we're at the second row of the bookish bingo, and that's a TBR list. I've made a TBR list on this page. It's not as extensive as it was the previous years. It's actually, I don't know how many books, it's like 30 books that I really want to read this year. The next goal needs some explanation, I guess. It's 1 page per book in my book journal. Last year I kept a book journal and wrote like 3 to 4 lines per book I read, but this year I want to spend more time with it. I want to this is actually the first book I read this year. I've only read 1 book so far, and I've written down some details and did a nice header of the title of the book. It's a Dutch original, and a summary, because I think this will also help me with my reviews that I post on my blog and maybe will film in the future as well. So the next goal is read 40 English books. Because I'm not allowed to buy a lot of new books, I actually set this goal not really high for myself. 1/3 of the books that I read has to be English. I think I will make that. I think that will be quite doable. The next goal is I have to read a book with a number in the title. The goal next to it is a book with a color in the title. These are not very difficult goals, but I like to put them on my bookish bingo. So the third row, the first goal is read at least one non-fiction book a month, and I want to read 10 new non-fiction books, so non-fiction books I have not read before. I do not reread non-fiction as much as fiction, but I still like, because there are quite a lot of books that taught me some great lessons, and I really want to reread those books. But I have to read at least 10 new non-fiction books. Next is a goal that I still need to change, because now it says I have to read 35,000 pages, and that's a bit much. I want to set that goal on 30,000 pages. Last year when I read 365 books, I read 100,000 pages actually, but that was quite difficult at the end because I ended up reading a lot of novellas, and now I just don't want to set the bar too high, but 30,000 pages should be doable when reading 120 books. And maybe I will actually read more than 120 books. I have not read a lot of books yet. I only finished one book. I will go into more detail in my reflection videos, but I think I need to relax a bit and get rid of the idea that reading is something that I have to do every day, but change it into something that I want to do every day. So I'm not really ahead of my challenge yet, but that's okay. I want to read books by 10 different Dutch authors. I absolutely do love all the translated books that I can read, but sometimes it's really great to read from Dutch authors. I'm a Dutch author myself, so I know it's amazing if people read your books. This year I want to read 3 classics. Those of you who've been following me for a while know that I'm not very good with the classics, but I want to give them a shot. So I still want to read 3 classics this year. I want to read 5 debut novels or debut books, so first books that people wrote. I want to read 24 books where the title consists of one word. So even like if a book is called The Gift, I don't know if there exists a book that's called The Gift, that does not count. It really has to be one word. Like last year I read the Caravel trilogy, so that were 3 books with a one-word title, but I'm not going to read those books again this year, I think. So I have to pick out different books that have only one word in their title. And I also want to read a book that has the name of a country in the title. So if you have any ideas for this, then let me know in the comment, because I'm still looking for books that have the name of a country in their title. I want to read 10 books that will be published in 2022. I think there are not a lot of books that have been published this year yet, but I want to read 10 books that are published in this year. I want to read 10 books that were published in 2021, and I want to read a biography. And I'm already on the last line of my reading goal bingo. As a lot of you might know, I had a Koa Plus subscription last year, but I actually cancelled it. And I was like halfway through a book and I could not finish it because my subscription was already cancelled, because that was a bit earlier than I expected it. But that's okay. This year I want to have a maximum of 6 months of a Koa Plus subscription, because I have become a member of the library and there are quite a lot of books on my own shelves that are still not read. So I want to focus on that, and if that's done, then I might take a month of a subscription and then cancel again the next month. So I won't be spending a lot of money on that subscription. For instance, when I go on a holiday, maybe that's possible this year, then I might do a Koa Plus subscription, because that's easier to bring my e-reader. But I want to make more of my library subscription and my own books. Next is a goal that says read Yap's book. My boyfriend wrote a book and I promised him I would read it this year. It's not published yet, it's, well, still in, well, he's checking for a publisher, and that's also as part of me becoming a book editor, but I don't know whether that's a good idea to judge my boyfriend's book, but at least I'm going to read it. And this year I want to make 40 booktube videos, so if you don't want to miss any of those videos, then subscribe to my channel. I'm not going to do the weekly review videos, at least not for a while, because like I said before, I want to focus on my writing and I want to focus on the book editor thing, and maybe if I'm done with that, because that takes like 6 to 8 months, but maybe if I'm done with that, I'm going to do review videos again. If you want me to do review videos, then leave a comment that you really want me to do that, and I might reconsider it, but for now I'll be posting 1 video a week. I hope you enjoyed learning more about my reading goals, and let me know in a comment how many books will you read in 2022. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber yet but you do want to follow me, then subscribe to my channel. And as always, happy reading.